Saturday Live here on Tracy Gold Show. It's so wonderful to have you here. I'm doing a different kind of live today because I just feel inspired to have a little chat about what it's like to become, or to look at becoming fashionable and looking fashionable, feeling current, feeling relevant in today's society as a woman over 40. So many times we have these messages coming at us, you know. I even, although I used it in the title, how to not look like mutton dressed as lamb, I actually can't stand that term. And the reason why I can't stand it is because it kind of speaks to a fear that we have as women of getting it wrong, as if there is a huge kind of like set of rules that we need to follow. And so in this live, we're going to talk about how to look fashionable regardless of your age, how to look current, and how to create a look that represents who you are. Girlfriends, if you are new to me, I'm Tracy Gold. I'm a personal stylist, designer, and show host. And I do lives every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time this time. And I'm really, really excited to have you here. Once I get into some of the practical, like the really practical kind of show and tell and showing tips, I'll step back and, do my whole thing that I normally do. But today I wanted to start off a little differently. And I wanted to tell you my story of how I discovered that fashion and clothing can have a massive impact on how we feel as women. So, and that will lead into this topic for today. So, I grew up in a very conservative environment. There were a lot of restrictions, what I could do, what I couldn't do. I wasn't allowed to dance. I wasn't allowed to be seen in a bathing suit in front of boys. I wasn't allowed, like, there was a long list of stuff I was not allowed to do, which for me was very difficult. It was really, really challenging. I also went to school in South Africa. So that's where my crazy accent is from. I'm an American South African. So I was born here in the US, but my parents took me to South Africa. And in South Africa, they have a very conservative way of doing things. And schools were uniforms only. Like, you did not, unless you went to a private school, it's kind of the opposite that it is here in the US. But essentially, we had to wear school uniforms, and the dress code was incredibly strict. Like, we had to tie our hair up. Like, it wasn't, if your hair was touching your collar, it was like the army. If your hair was touching your collar, then you had to tie it up. If you weren't allowed to wear nail polish, you weren't allowed to wear makeup. We weren't allowed to have any form of individuality. They even went as far as to have uniform panties. And the nurse would come and check. So if it was the day that the nurse came, I used to panic in case, because I found their panties so freaking uncomfortable. Never mind the fact that I didn't want to have to wear the same as everybody else and match my uniform. So I grew up in this environment where I was very restricted by a lot of things. Plus, I had this restriction of clothing. And what I discovered is that clothing had the incredible power to help me feel better about myself, to feel more like myself, to feel like the individual that I was. And luckily for me, although my parents were incredibly strict about what was and was not appropriate from a perspective of, covering yourself up, I was allowed to wear fashionable clothing. Okay. I'm 50. I grew up in the 80s, and so I did the big hair and the makeup in all the different colors. Like, I had, on one eye, I would have pink, blue, yellow eyeshadow, like stripes. I had nail polish on the weekends. I would paint my nails and like have different colors on different. I mean, I went all out. But what I found was that I would come home from school, ditch the uniform. The uniform was horrible. Like, ditch the uniform and then put on my own clothes. And even if I was just hanging out at home, I felt more like myself. I felt like I could be who I am. I felt like I could be the individual that I am. And this is where I discovered, wow, so clothing actually has this incredible power. And then fast forward, I started my business when I was 28. And listen, I was a designer from like, I started designing clothes when I was 6. I went to design school. I was in design school for 3 years. I did various different things. I wasn't mature enough to start my own business. But when it was time, I was 28 and I started my own business. And I designed my collection and I graded. So I create the samples and then I would just grade up like everybody else does. And the technical term is, it's basically making it, grading is the technical term. It basically was going up the sizes, right? Or down the sizes. So making them bigger and smaller, just like everybody else did. And then I discovered, wait a minute. Like women would say to me, Tracy, I love those pants, or I love that dress, or I love that top. But as soon as I gave it to them in their size, they would say, oh no, I can't wear it. Like they wouldn't even put it on. They would say, oh no, I can't wear this because of fill in the blank. So the things that I heard were things like, I'm a mother now. This is too young for me. I'm too old now. I have this role. I have to look a certain way. Oh, I'm too, my husband won't like it. I don't have the body for that. I'm way too big for that. My stomach is going to pooch out. Like you name it, the messages came. And I also realized, funny enough, and this was a funny thing for me, that women didn't plan their wardrobes. This was a complete shock to me. I was like, what do you mean? I would look at the seasonal trends. I was young, I was in my 20s, and I would look at the seasonal trends. I would plan out what I wanted to wear for the season. I would decide what it was that I needed to get, and I would do it. I would wear and I would plan my wardrobe and get rid of the things that didn't work for me. No, no, no. Women just had a lot of clothing and nothing to wear. And I was like, wow. Okay, so first of all, these are the lessons I learned. First of all, clothing has an incredible power to make us feel really good about ourselves or really actually pretty shitty about ourselves. Like, let's just not mince words. Really, really bad about ourselves. Second of all, we have a whole internal dialogue around what we can and we cannot wear for all of the reasons that we do. And then number three, we often end up not wearing the things that we really should be, well, can wear that's going to look great on us because of that internal dialogue. And then I realized that women have a lot of clothing and nothing to wear because there's no planning. There's like go to the store, buy something spontaneously, and then it doesn't fit. It may be that you have 3 different wardrobes. You have like a skinny wardrobe, you have a fat wardrobe, you have a middle wardrobe, you have something else, and a whole bunch of stuff, and a wardrobe full of clothing and still nothing to wear. And so this is what put me on set me on the trajectory for creating my business, and this was over 20 years ago. Now, the reason why I tell you the story is because I think it puts in context. For me, it isn't just about the clothes that we talk about. It really is about how you feel about yourself. And it's about me helping you to find a look that makes you feel good about yourself. So the whole thing of avoiding looking like mutton dressed as lamb is really that fear of, am I too young for this? I can't wear this. And let's be honest, girlfriends, if you just Google what women over 40 should wear, there's a whole bunch of really cockamamie rules. Like, I mean, pathetic, you have got to be kidding kind of rules. Like, women should never have long hair over 40. Well, I'm 50 and I still have long hair. Women should never show their upper arms. Women over 40 should never try and be fashionable. Suddenly, when we get to over 40, we must now become all classic and, shall I say, a bit boring for fear of looking like we're trying too hard. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to really come to terms with what it is that your personal style is and how to figure out this thing of what fashionable looks like for you. And it doesn't look the same for everybody. And that's what's so cool. You, girlfriend, are an individual. You have an individual style, you have an individual body shape, you are unique to you. And I want you to look the best you that you can. I want you to look like you are who you are on the outside. That's what I want. Okay, so if you're in for this, let me know in the comments. Say, hey, smash the like button and let's get started. So let's talk about the first, and this is like there are three most important things when creating a fashionable look. The first thing is, what is your personal style? I was with a woman the other day, and she said to me, she said, Tracy, I have a wardrobe full of clothing and nothing to wear. And she brought out this one jacket that she absolutely loved, but she says, I feel like I'm just too old for it. So I was like, okay, why do you feel that way? Like, what makes you feel like you're too old for it? And she just said, I don't know. I just feel like I'm too old for it. And as we started deep diving, I said, well, it depends on your personal style. If this reflects your personal style, then you can wear it. If it doesn't, it's not going to feel right to you. And it's actually got nothing to do with your age. It has everything to do with your lifestyle, your personal style, and your life stage, right? So my question would be to you, if you could look like the best version of yourself on the outside. So look like you are. Okay, so let me get this right. If you could look on the outside like you are on the inside, what would that look like? If you represent yourself as your best self on the outside, as if you were packaging something, a product. So as an example, let me see if I can find something. A package. Let me see if I can find this would be a great example. Hold on. Let me see. Do I have something branded here? Okay. I don't. But let's imagine that I have a product in my hand. Okay, so let's say this is a hair product. And they go to huge amounts of trouble to decide the packaging, the coloring, the branding, the box that it comes in, all of those things. Why do you think they do that? Because we are, as people, are attracted by sight. And the way the packaging looks is going to also determine how we feel about the product before we've even used it. Now, some brands have managed to create a great product in terrible packaging and it works for them. But a lot of brands spend a lot of time, even if it's not great packaging, even if it's not expensive packaging, creating that packaging because it says something about what's inside of it. So I want you to think of yourself in that way. I want you to think of, if you were to package yourself, how would you package yourself and what would that look like? Now, sometimes that's a really challenging question for a lot of women. Sometimes this is a very hard exercise. And so what I'm going to suggest that you do is go into your closet. Go into your closet and look at what you have in there and pick out for me a few things that you really love to wear. And this could be something that doesn't even fit you anymore. It could be something you don't even wear anymore. It could just be something that you're drawn to, that you love. It may have been something that you bought on a whim, but have never found a way of wearing it, but you love it. And you wish you could wear it. It may be something that doesn't fit anymore. It may be something that you wear every day. Go through your closet and try and choose at least 3 things. At least 3 things that you love to wear. Lay them out on the bed. Look at them clearly. And then look for the commonality. So what are the things that each of these pieces have in common? Is it the style? Is it the fabric? Is it the print? Is it the colors? Do you prefer very neutral colors and you feel safe in those? Or do you love color and you're seeing lots of color in print? Is it texture? Do you really love the texture of those things? What is the commonality? Do you like clean, simple lines, or do you like soft, flowing things? And then give some thought to, what is the feeling? And this is a very important thing. What is the feeling that either you experience when you wear these items, or if you cannot wear them for whatever reason, what is the feeling that you imagine yourself having? What is the feeling you imagine yourself having in that? Because, girlfriends, this is the thing. We don't buy clothes, we buy a feeling, we buy a hope. That's what we're buying. We're not actually buying an item of clothing. Because let's be honest, we could put a black sack over our, we could put a schmata, a big, and it would make no difference, right? Like if we were just, if we were just dressing to cover our bodies and just protect ourselves from the elements or having to go naked in public, we wouldn't really care. But we're not just buying that. We're buying it as we're choosing the clothing as an for some reason. And usually it's around a feeling. And listen, I get that sometimes as women, some of us don't like shopping. Some of us don't even like having to wear like fashion and clothing just feels like a lot and not important, right? That is sometimes the case. So if that is true, that's okay, but there still may be things that you really like. If you go into your closet and there is nothing that you like, there is nothing that represents who you are, there is nothing that you would love to wear, then it might be a good idea for you to go into some stores and look around. Don't worry about if the store is too expensive. Not important. In fact, I would love for you to go into stores that you would normally never go into and try that first. And try and look around, feel the textures, look at the colors, look at the shapes, maybe even try some things on, right? Get a feeling. What is the feeling? And start noticing when you see something you like, what do you think the feeling is going to be when you wear that? What is the feeling that you're after in that? This is going to give you a very good indicator of your personal style. And let me say another thing. I have done quite a few of these, what is your personal style kind of quizzes. I have never found one that I've been happy with, personally, ever. I feel like it boxes me into one category. As an example, I love rock chic. I really, really love rock chic, but I don't just like rock chic. I also really like a 70s style. I love the 70s. Anything 70s vintage is my kind of thing. I really, really enjoy some tailored pieces, but in luxe fabrics. So, none of these things are going to necessarily fit into a block, right? Like some will say, oh, you're rock chic, and some will say you're a boho. Well, what if I'm a boho rocker? I mean, that's kind of as close as I've come to. So when I've gone onto Pinterest, I'm like, okay, so 70s rock chic, like that kind of thing, maybe that would come as close. But I still go through phases where I love different things. Italian style is definitely my kind of thing. But which kind of Italian style? Well, I love color, I love print. So you don't have to box it. That's the amazing thing. You don't have to box yourself. Just get a feeling. Like, what is the feeling? For me, it's feeling. Okay, so I'll share from my experience. When I'm dressed in a way that feels really good for me, let's say I create this like really fun rocker chic look, I feel powerful. That's how I feel. I feel powerful. When I'm wearing something that is soft and feminine, but like 70s kind of, I feel like I'm in my flow. It's an interesting feeling. I feel fantastic. I feel like I'm in expression because I am out there. I'm loud. Let's be honest. I'm loud. I'm out there. I feel like my clothes match how I feel on the inside. And that's what I want you to get to. Then the second thing is you need to look at your lifestyle. So this may seem like, well, what's that got to do with mutton dresses, lamb? But actually, it has a lot to do with your lifestyle. Where you live, the lifestyle that you live, the things that you do, that's also going to dictate your, or have an, shall I say, not dictate, influence how you dress. So let me give you an example. I live in New York City. In New York City, no one cares. I'm serious. Like you could probably walk naked down the street, and maybe a few people would notice. I'm serious. It's pretty crazy. People don't care. You be you. You do you. Okay. And so, and we often see people who are very creative and very expressive in their dress. And, when you're in New York, because, we have a life that's available to us. We go to shows, we go to live music, we go to rest, like we do stuff, right? So it means that there are places where I have to go and dress and wear these things and enjoy that kind of thing. If I lived in a small town in the Midwest, maybe not. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's still, you could still create that look, but in a different way. So, what is your lifestyle? Are you a mom? Are you a grandmom? Do you work from home? Are you hybrid worker? Do you work at all? Like all of those things, what line of work are you in? I know lawyers who are super creative, who have found ways of creating that really fun, expressive look within their corporate environment. But there is that restriction, right? It is going to restrict you a little bit. And so I really want to kind of get a sense of I want you to get a sense of like where are you right now? And what does your personal style look like in the life that you live now? Your personal style may not have changed that much from your 20s. Maybe it hasn't, but the way it translates is going to be different. And then, okay, and this is where I'm going to stand up. Then what you want to do is you want to create some outfits that are easy to mix and match and dress up and dress down that suit your personal style and suit your lifestyle. Okay, so and not only suit one part of your lifestyle, but multiple parts of your lifestyle. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share some of the items that I'm going to be working with on the screen. That's actually what I'm wearing. Let me just take this off. Sorry, I don't know why that was on there. So this is okay. So let me just also so this is my collection over here. So if there's any items that you see that you like, that you're interested in, feel free to look over there. And this is also Q&A time, guys. So if you have any questions around what I'm talking about or any items that are in there, put it in the chat and let me know. I'm happy to help you. And then this is where I'm going to stand up and start doing some of my crazy, like, all over the place. And in fact, I'm going to lift this up. I actually realized the other day I was filming a video and I realized like I could actually make it higher and it's still fine. I've always feel like I'm looking down at the camera because I'm trying to get full length. Okay, so let's just see if I can get full length. Yes, I think I can. And now my glasses are off. By the way, guys, I have got to have my glasses reset. Like as I've gotten older, it's crazy. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely I don't know if it's an age thing. You tell me in the comments. I used to have such good sight, and now I feel like I have to have my glasses quite a bit now. Those glasses I got about over a year ago, and I thought, wow, they're really strong. They're not that strong anymore. I don't even wear my weaker ones anymore. It's a little scary, but they are more for close up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is the architectural chop. I'm just going to take what I'm wearing and I'm going to show you how you can translate this in different ways depending on your lifestyle. Now, this may not be your personal style, and that's absolutely fine. This is simply an example. Okay, so I'm just going to, and let me just hide this. So that will push it into the link as well. And then feel free to go and click on that link if you're interested in the item. And everything here, girlfriends, everything is customizable. So if you love the style, but you want it in a different fabric, you can have it in different fabric. Okay, so this is the architectural top. I really love edgy style. For me, it's one of my things I always like to have no matter what I'm wearing. I like something to have a little bit of edginess. So that is my personal style. I also really love color. I love texture. So I'm wearing leather pants. These are thrifted leather pants. In New York, we have great thrift stores, so that is possible for me. But I really love, and I love angular lines. I love things that kind of go up and down and do all different kinds of things with it. So this is one of the ideal pieces for me. I've been living in this. It's longer at the back. than it is in the front. And what this does is it makes your legs look longer. And we're going to talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about dressing for your body shape soon. We're going to do that after this. So stay tuned with me because it's going to be a goodie. All right. So how would I dress this for my lifestyle? I'm going to use me as an example. Maybe I'll use another example. In fact, give me, if you have anything in the comments, maybe put inside the comments if you're watching, because I can see that there are those of you watching. Be brave and just put your basic lifestyle in there for me. So you working hybrid, or you're working in a conservative office, or these are the kind of things that you do on a given day. And I will create something for you. Okay, so while I'm doing mine, then you can get yours done. All right, so just a second, let me. Okay, so because I love edgy style, this is really perfect for me. Now, if I was just working from home and being a little bit more casual, then what I would do is I would probably wear this. I would wear this top with maybe just leggings, and that's the nice thing. If I'm on a Zoom call, which I do have Zoom calls with some of my marketing people, then I would be able to hop on a Zoom call and still look really good. What I love about electric blue is electric blue suits everybody, or cobalt, shall I say. Cobalt blue suits everybody. It is one of those colors I've never met a woman who doesn't look good in cobalt blue and turquoise. Those are just the two colors. But if I'm wearing this more casually, which I do sometimes, then I would just wear it, say, with a pair of jeans or with a pair of leggings. Okay, so thicker leggings, obviously, because it does show. Then if I'm going out for to meet a friend, or I'm going out to a meeting and I want to look a little bit more chic and sophisticated, then maybe I would put on my leather pants. And that's what I've done here. Okay. What I would also do if I wanted to then take it maybe to the next level, let's say I want to wear it. Maybe I've got a little bit more of a formal meeting. Okay. So I've got a work meeting, but it is a little more formal. Then this is probably what I would do. Hold on. I'm going to take off the legging. I have got tights on underneath, so it's not a train smash. And I'm going to show you just how versatile these pieces are. And this is what you want. You want pieces that are really versatile, that you can mix and match and dress up and dress down. Hey, Jazzy. Jazzy's he's my Siamese. I have two of them, but he's like a really demanding one. In fact, just the other day, I was using him to weightlift because he's 15 pounds. I was weightlifting with him and he loved it. He was purring. He thought it was really fun because then he can be involved. All right. So now let me show you this one, right? So this is the snake, the mock snake skirt. Let me actually share the link to this one. What's nice about when I share these links is that they actually push the links into the chat. And if you are watching on replay, there is a link inside of the description to the collection. Feel free to go to there and you will be able to find these pieces. Okay, so this is another way that I would wear this, and maybe in a little bit more of a formal way. Let me just unshare that so that I can show it to you. Okay, and let me just go and get my black shoes. Hold on. I'm going to do black shoes with this just to make it a little bit more formal. Or shall I say a little more, like if I'm going into an office meeting or something like that, if I'm doing something, a little bit more where I need to be a touch more conservative, then let me do this. Okay. And I'm popping these on just a second. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, I lost. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to stick them here. I just don't want to. The other day, I almost slipped on the carpet and on the rug, and I was like, that would have been really fun. Okay, so I'm going to go black tights, black shoes. Okay, I'm going to go black tights, black shoes. By the way, the skirt can also be made in a long. Okay, and what's different about this skirt, I'm going to come up close to the camera. This has got it's a double knit fabric, so it's actually soft. It's not a PVC fabric, and then it has the effect over it. So it looks really great It feels great on the body, and it doesn't have that sticky PVC feel. You also don't get the peeling, because that's one of the things. I love faux leathers, but they're not very wearable for a long time. I find they just peel and they look terrible. Okay, so this is another way that I could then, and what I would do is I would half tuck and I would put the little, I would belt tie this over here, and now let me just see that I'm doing this correctly, because yes, there we go. And now I feel like it's a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more dressed up. If I felt like I needed to be a little bit more conservative. I know this is not super conservative, but it is a little bit more dressed up. Okay, so this is how I could do it as well. And then if I'm going out in the evening, I'm going to go see a show, I'm going to go see some live music, I'm going to do that kind of thing. Wait, let me show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, and let me use those. I'm going to go back to the leather leggings, I mean the leather pants. Back to the leather, back to the leather. And if some of you will put an example of your lifestyle in the chat, I will do one for you as well. So feel free to put that in the chat. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my silver shoes. All right. So I'm going back to my silver shoes now because I wanted it a little bit more funky. I might also decide to put a belt on it. Now, either I could do a belt here. This is what's so fun. I love you girls. I'm telling you, belting is just the best thing ever. It really can make your legs look so long. We'll talk about that in a minute. But look at how I can just do the belting. Okay. Or I could also go with like a silver belt. So something a little bit more fancy if I wanted to. This one, I have this one. I actually only have one left. I don't even think I have it on the website. So if you do want it, feel free to let me know and I can just do a listing for you, because this is the last one. Isn't this fab? So I could do that as well because it goes with my silver shoes. Or I could do, and then this is my fun. I think this is a great one. Okay. A faux fur jacket on top. Okay, so now, and it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter that you have these high lows. In fact, I feel like the layering actually really works to make me look taller. I am 5'3.5". So I am not a tall woman, but yet these kinds of layering tricks actually make me look taller than I am. A lot of people think I'm at least like 5'5". Okay, so it is a really, really great way to work with these. But can you see how fun this is? But now if I wanted to go more like rock chic kind of look, right? So let's say I want to translate it a little bit more. Now this would be more like kind of 70s type of, the faux thing. But oops, sorry. Just a second. Whoopsie daisy. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock that. I just wanted to get into this closet over here and pop on, oh yes, this is my favorite. Okay, pop on this leather jacket. Now this I bought in Milan quite a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. Yes, Jazzy, I hear you, but no. Okay, so you see what I mean. Now, how this relates to my lifestyle in a way of where I live is that I also live in New York City. So the times that I wear a jacket like this have actually reduced a lot, because for the most part we either have really hot or really cold. So a lot of the jackets that I used to collect, because I had a different climate, it's South African climate and it's different, I actually don't get as much wear out of in New York, because we either are wearing like big coats or we're wearing nothing because it's so freaking hot. So, those are the things that you have to consider when it comes to lifestyle as well. But I know a lot of you live in Florida, a lot of you live in California, and so you don't necessarily need huge amounts of like warm clothes and warm, so you have a lot more flexibility. Okay, so that is one of the ways that you can mix things and dress them up and dress them down for your lifestyle. Would you like me to do another one? I think I should do another one. I feel like I should do another one. Okay. So let me do another one because I realize that this is also not everybody's absolute style. So I'm going to do one just a second. I'm going to do one with a wrap dress. Okay. And just a second there. Sorry, with my AirPods. Okay. And let me do, I think I'm going to do this black and white dress, this wrap dress. Okay. So, and I know for sure, like one of my clients has this wrap dress and she talks about it all the time, is about how versatile it is for her and how, because she works from home, she works from home. She has a daughter, but she loves to go out in the evening and she loves to go to parties and she loves to do things like that. With it's more family kind of stuff, but she lives a fairly casual lifestyle. But this really works for her because she can wear it so many different ways. Okay, so this is my classic wrap dress, and it's just in a black and white floral print. It does come in various different prints, so you can have it in different prints. And we'll talk about body shape in a second. But this is a very great basic. Okay, it's a really, really fabulous basic. Let me show it to you. I'll put the link again so that you can, let me just see. Oh, here it is. Okay, and it's there. And then I'm going to hide it. All right, because it will be in the chat, girlfriend. So if you need to see it, just check the link in the chat. Okay, so this is a really great basic dress, and if she's going into the office, which she does sometimes, or she's going to meetings and that kind of thing, she can wear it exactly like this. She could also funk it up a little bit if she wants to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more edgy, is to add a red belt, and this would obviously make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more edgy. I'm just going to keep my pants on for ease's sake. Okay, but she could wear this easily just as a dress. Now, what she could also do is wear it at home if she wants to. She can wear it when, she's going to look great from here up when she's working from home. But there's another way of doing it. And this is one of my favorite things about these dresses, because the wrap dresses have so much wrap in them. They both A, give you a lot of coverage, but B, what they also do is make them a lot more versatile. And I'll show you what I mean. So you can just put it back on a hanger or lay it on the bed or wherever it works for you. And then you just tie this like this. Okay. And you can just pop it on over. Here we go. You just pop it on over top and pants, over top and jeans. It can be something that you can wear at your desk and you still look good. It can be something that you're wearing around the house to run your kids for errands, that kind of thing. But then you could also, and you could wear it with jeans. And then if you want to make it more funky to go out in the evening, put on the pants, like leather pants, leather leggings, something like that. Put on some nice metallic shoes, add some jewelry to the look, and that can completely transform your look and make it for an evening out. Okay, so and then the wear it under dress, the body stocking. Also, like you could have this on. It makes it look a little bit more edgy, a little bit more fun. Whereas at the office, you're going to wear it as a plain black top, right? So this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. You want your wardrobe to support your roles, to support you as a woman, and not the other way around. So some women say, well, I would love to wear party dresses. I love party dresses. I love something really like fun and sequency and that kind of thing. So my question is, how can you bring some of that fun, sequency kind of glitterati type of vibe into your everyday wardrobe if your lifestyle is pretty casual? Do you see what I'm saying? And so that's where your lifestyle needs to be considered, because the clothing that you wear, it's always like, I love this, but where am I going to wear it? Right? And so again, sometimes your look can be misplaced if it doesn't fit your lifestyle. And sometimes it doesn't really matter because it's just your personal style. Okay? So there are not a bunch of rules, girlfriends. There are not rules that you have to follow in order to not look like Mutton dresses then. You want to dress in a way that suits your personal style. You want to dress in a way that suits your lifestyle. And now we're going to talk about body shape. And this is probably one of the most important ones, and one of the most um, underestimated ones as well. Instead of you must wear certain things at a certain age, women of a certain age should never fill in the blank. It really depends on your body shape and how you feel about your body, right? Okay. And if you've gone through major changes, as we do as women over 40, we tend to go through, or even over 35, if you have a baby, if you're going through menopause, if you're going through weight gain, weight loss, lifestyle changes that have changed how your body looks right now because of various different aspects. It could be that you're going through health challenges. That can also be an issue. So when we're going through body changes, we have to kind of reassess and say, well, what can I wear that suits my body now? And how can I adapt it as my body adapts, right? Can I wear clothes that are going to suit my lifestyle, my body now? And is it going to suit it a few months from now when I've lost weight or gained weight or whatever that is? Just a second, I'm going to close the door. Okay, so now let's talk about body shape. And listen, I am, we're walking on sacred ground. So as women, we are complicated about our bodies. We just are. And what often happens is that we get these quizzes. Well, are you an apple? Are you a pear? Are you a carrot? Are you well, first of all, I don't think that we are vegetables or fruit types. I think women, and this is in my experience of 20 years of styling women, what I have experienced is that women they are something in between. Okay. We are all different. And so it is very difficult to try and categorize yourself. So many times I've heard women say, but am I an apple? Am I a pear? Or am I an hourglass? Sometimes women are absolutely convinced that they are a pear, that they're bigger on the bottom and smaller on the top. And actually, when I look at them, they're a perfect hourglass shape. So we often don't know what our body shape is because we're trying to work out what we are in order to get the rules to how to do it. Bob, I don't believe in that. And how we perceive that is also different depending on what's happening in fashion, what's happening in society, all of those kinds of things, what is socially acceptable. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you some basic tips that I have found work so very well for a variety of different body shapes, variety of different sizes, and I have styled women of different shapes, body shapes for over 20 years. Okay? So let's do this. I'm going to share with you my number one, most important one. Most important is defining is the most important, okay? Is instead of wearing baggy clothing, you want to wear something that has shape. Now, I just put on something that's fairly loose. So you're probably thinking, yeah, but that's not shape. That's not shapy. Actually, it is. Actually, it does have shape. Okay, it is not a block. So we're going to instead of looking at rectangles, we want upside down triangles. So what does that look like? Well, the triangle's there. This is the triangle. And then it makes everything look narrow comparison. Now, if I were to wear this as a very rectangle shape, very loose kind of dress, that's not going to do it for me. But because of the shape of this, you can wear it loose because the bottom is wider and it makes it look narrow at the top. Okay, I'll break that down for you. I know that's fairly complicated. There's a lot there. So let me just share this dress with you as well. Let me just see. Here it is. Okay, and it also comes in different fabrics as well. Now, what I do prefer, I'll be honest with you, this does move with your body. This does have shape and it's designed to be such. But it can look a lot better. And this is the belting. And this comes to the belting. The belting is one of defining your waist is the most important thing. And belting is one of the ways that you can do that. And especially with these dresses, it works really well because A, there's print, so it disguises the tummy. B, the defining of your waist makes your legs look longer. So that makes your waist look like it starts from here as opposed to somewhere around here. It also creates the balance between your shoulders and your hips, or your boobs and your hips. It actually creates a more balanced look, and it makes your legs look longer. Instead of focusing so much attention on trying to cover up the parts that you don't like, rather shift your focus and say, how can I make my legs look longer? Because when you make your legs look longer, everything else doesn't matter as much. You don't notice it as much. It's a very interesting thing. Now, belting doesn't work for absolutely everybody. I'll be honest in saying that, but it works for a lot of you. A lot of women find belting effective. If you have a very short waist, and sometimes that is the case, you can then go for a slightly narrower belt like this. Okay, so still don't do the skinny belt, but you could go for a narrower belt. That will work. So it doesn't take up so much of the width of your waist, or the height of your waist, shall I say, like that. Okay. It can also, you must make sure that when you belt, you don't do this. Because this is what often happens. And I had this happen even on QVC one time. So there was a show I was doing, and I was chatting to the host beforehand, and I was giving her some tips on what she could wear for the event. I'm a guest host, so I go on as the fashion expert, telling women how to wear it, etc. And so I said to her, I said, "Oh, well, you can belt it." And we were having a phone conversation. And then she came on, and she had the belt way too low. And I was like, ooh, I should have mentioned, right? I should have mentioned that it's better to go high, because if you go low, you're cutting across a wider part, and that's going to make you look bigger. Whereas if you go here, that's going to look a lot better. Can you see that? Okay. So therein lies the secret, girlfriends. Therein lies the secret. So now we have wearing shapely clothing rather than baggy. And this is across the board, ladies. I have worked with women who are plus size to women who are extra small. I've worked with various different body shapes, and still wearing things that have got some shape to them, even if that means something like this that has still shape that moves with your body, is better than really baggy. And you want to make sure that it has the upside down triangle effect as opposed to the rectangle. So again, let me show you. This is the triangle going into narrower. So what that means is that when you belt, there isn't as much fullness here as there is at the bottom. Okay, if this is a block, and I tried this, I actually bought a few things just to try this out to see how it works. And I thought, okay, if I take a dress that is shapeless, that is of a rectangle shape, and I belt it, would that work? And it doesn't work. And I'll tell you why. Because it just creates more fullness and more bagginess over here. It doesn't look good. In fact, let's try that. If I were to do that, I wonder if it will work. Let me see. Because it really was, oh my goodness, it was so block-like, these things that I got. I loved the print of them, but they looked so terrible when I belted them. So I'm going to do that, and then let me see if it will, let's see if we can get the effect. I probably should have kept those things so that I can actually show you, right? No, this still doesn't work because, I'll tell you, because the fullness, it kind of does. Let me see. No, this still looks better because of the shape. You see, this is the reason why I design clothes, because I try on clothes from other designers, and I'm like, oh no, that is definitely not working. The triangle shape, that's what you're looking for. Because if it's rectangular, it's just going to add extra fullness here. Okay? And that doesn't do us any favors. Then belting, defining your waist, and that could also look like rather doing something like this, right? Take a jacket that has a significant, like a nipped waist, and put that on over something that is more loose. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, if belting doesn't work for you, there's no hope for you. No, or maybe you don't like belting. Maybe you just don't like that feeling. Here you go. You have a nipped in waist over something that is more loose, and it still gives you that nipped in waist. It still makes your legs look like they start from here. Okay, there's another way that you can do it. Let me show you, because sometimes it is a little tricky. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the magic blouse in the shimmer. I don't know that I probably wouldn't wear these two together from a style perspective, but the shapes are good. Okay, so here you go. Now, there we go. So that can actually give you definition. It goes a little higher than your natural waist. It defines this part of your body, which is a really good part of your body to define. Draws the eye down the body, and then you've got the flare. Okay, so those are the kind of things. So let's just go over it again. So first of all, it's to wear shape rather than super baggy. We don't want something sack-like. Ditch the sack, go for shape. Number two, define your waist. Whatever that looks like for you. It could be the nipped in waist jacket. It could be something like that. It can also be the belting. Jessica! Oh, thanks, my friend. I so appreciate you. Girl, I was actually going to message you. Did you get my message this last week? I phoned you and I did a old-fashioned. I left you a voice message for your birthday. I even sang to you. I was just making sure that you got it. I was hoping you were away and having fun. Thank you so much. Jessica says, good morning, Tracy. Happy New Year. Love these tips. I hope women on this live know how fab they are. Thank you so much, Jessica. Okay, so first of all, I'll go through that again quickly. So it's instead of wearing super baggy, we want something that has more shape, okay? We want to define our waist, whatever that looks like for you. It's either wearing the magic blouse, the nipped in jacket over it, the belt, something that's going to define your waist. We want the triangle shape versus the rectangle shape. And the final thing is making sure that you try and make your legs look longer. Okay? And so what that does, the legs look longer, is defining the waist. The last thing I'm going to tell you is print can be your best friend. And I know this is very controversial for a lot of people because for the most part, we have been believing that print makes us look bigger. Print only makes you look bigger when it's in a shape that is wrong for you and in the size that is way too big. So when you wear something with a print, it disguises a multitude of things. You can wear things that are a little bit more fitted. You don't have to, like I personally prefer things more fitted. But I find that I would have to wear like the right underwear sometimes. You know, if I'm wearing a plain, it's a very hard thing. Whereas when I'm wearing a print, it is absolutely fabulous. I'm going to show you an example. This dress is actually sold out. Shall I say this print is sold out. But this is a really great example of a print that works. So this is the asymmetrical dress. Jessica says, oh, you got it. Oh, good. That's what I was hoping for, girl, is that you were vacationing. I was like, oh, good. She's not working. She's not on it all the time. She's having a good time. That was my hope for you. Yay. Okay, so this is a great example. If it was in a plain, even though it's an A-line shape and it's a little bit more forgiving, I feel like it would cling in the wrong places. And I know this because I've tried this so many times as well. So I've tried it many times to try and do a plain fabric and it doesn't work. Black sometimes works, sometimes. Not always, believe it or not. But a print always works. A print disguises. Plus, if the print is going down the body, draws the eye down the body, that makes it look elongating and simmer automatically as well. Okay, so those are my tips. So we're going to go through them one more time. all right? Wear fitted styles rather than baggy. And fitted or shapely doesn't mean tight. It's not this, it can mean this. So you've got that shape there, okay? Number two, define your waist because it elongates your legs and puts you into balance. And that can mean either that you belt it or that you do the nipped in jacket over it or something that's going to create that really defined waist for you. Number three is to, what was number three again? Number three was the triangle. So think triangles, upside down triangles, rather than rectangles. Okay? Triangles rather than rectangles. Because if the hem at the bottom is wider, it actually makes everything here look more narrow. Really fantastic. Print can be your best friend. So those are the tips, girlfriends. So I hope you have found that helpful. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Also, for those of you who are watching the replay. Ladies, I do lives every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern and Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. I do have an announcement to make, but I will make it a little bit later. That might change. It has impact on a little bit of my schedule. So sometimes that it may be a little bit all over the place. But for the most part, those are the times. This is the time that you can come and ask your questions. Feel like you can ask as many questions as you like. We can engage as a community. It's a really great space. If you feel like you don't want to comment on the lives, you're more than welcome to be quiet and to rather just reach out to me through my website. So feel free to do that. I will put up the link again. Oh, in fact, it's right over here. Okay, so that takes you to the full collection page. And by the way, there is a 10% discount code for your first purchase from the website. So if you go and just sign up, then you will get the code. If you don't find it, just check in your spam because sometimes those land in spam folders, especially if you have a Gmail email address. Okay, so are there any questions, ladies? I would love to hear from you. Let me come and sit down again. I'm very excited about this year. I'm very excited about the content that I'm creating. I have got a video on the channel that I did this week about slimming trends for 2024. And this is really for us kind of women over 40 who feel a little intimidated by the trends and often find the trends don't really fit us and work for us. I had somebody comment, she goes, "You know nothing about fashion." I was like, well, actually, I know quite a lot about fashion. It's just that this is not about the most trendiest things. It's actually about trends that can work for our body shape and easily adapt. And so, I just send love to people who are like that. I'm just like, well, she just needs some loving. And if she doesn't want it, that's okay. All right. So are there questions, ladies? I would love to hear from you in the chat. If not, feel free to reach out to me at a later stage. You are more than welcome to do that. You can go to my website, Tracy Gold New York, and you can do a contact just in the contact page that comes directly to me. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you need help creating a look that is really developed around your personal style, your lifestyle, your body shape, then I will give you this link as well. You can use that link. Okay, that's over there, and feel free to go and check that out. I work both online as well as in person here in New York City. So if you're coming to New York, it would be wonderful. If not, online is good too. Okay, thank you, ladies, so much for coming. I really appreciate you. I love doing these lives with you. And let me know if you have any questions about any of the styles and the products because they're designed specifically to suit you and your body shape and to help you love the body that you have. Thank you so much, girlfriends. Take care. Bye-bye.